Look at the pretty sunset. It's so nice. It doesn't matter because it's 5 p.m. Remember when it didn't get dark at 5 p.m.? So I've been thinking a lot about my life lately and where I'm going to be in 10 years, what I'm going to be doing. And when I was thinking about this, I said, well, a lot of what I do now is centered around what Apple does, is somebody that makes videos about them. And it made me wonder what Apple's going to look like in 2030. I mean, technically that's only, 8 years away now, but roughly, let's say up to 2032 where Apple is going to be. And I thought, well, the best way to start here is probably to see what I would have bet on back in 2010 to be out now. Keep in mind, the newest products are the iPhone 4, the iPad, the MacBook Air, and a bunch of iPods. All right, I'm going to tell you a couple things. This is you in 2010 that Apple is going to have out in the next 10 or so years. There's going to be 5 different iPhone models that all have different screen sizes and that cost $1,000. That alone, if someone would have told me my iPhone is going to cost $1,000 and I will willingly pay that out of pocket without carrier subsidies, in 2020, I wouldn't believe you. What about a watch? I mean, this was like something that had sort of been maybe rumored lightly in 2010, but I would have said, why would I care about an Apple Watch? And sure enough, I've worn it essentially every day since it came out in 2015. The headphone jack is probably my hardest line of disbelief if somebody would have told me that they were going to drop the headphone jack and that everything was going to go to wireless audio and that AirPods would become this literal business by itself. They're going to take away my headphone jack and then sell me their replacement, and I'm going to love them more than I've loved any product in the past decade. Maybe the one thing I could have believed is the iPod going away. I mean, that with the iPhone already starting to get pretty popular with the iPhone 4, I would have said, maybe, because I do want the iPhone, but I still wouldn't have believed the whole world would have agreed with me. Well, let's go back 10 more years to the year 2000. This is the time period that Apple is considered to be at their most innovative when they're introducing the most new things. This is when the internet is barely a mainstream concept, or most people have a computer, and Apple is going to introduce a mobile computer that fits in your pocket called the iPhone, a mobile music player where you can put thousands of songs in your pocket, even though we have radio and CDs already, and a MacBook Air that replaces the computer you already don't care about it and puts it in the size of an envelope so you can take it anywhere, even though there are computers at work and at libraries. The reason I'm belaboring this point is to bring us back to the present day, where we're hearing rumors about a lot of other crazy things that Apple is working on that do not make sense and that pretty much nobody has interest in right now. And you know what I'm talking about. First, the mixed reality Apple AR VR headset, the thing that is supposedly going to fix VR at its current state and change the way gaming works and reinvent media consumption. That is said to be coming as early as next year in 2022, and the interest just doesn't seem to be there. What about further on in the 2020s when we're getting the Apple AR glasses that are going to augment the environment around us? You're going to start wearing physical glasses on your head everywhere you go, and they're going to help you do things, even small tasks in your life, in a way that we couldn't even imagine now. We literally can't imagine now. But most preposterous is this car that's going to be out by the year 2030. It'll actually probably have been on the road for a couple of years at this point. That's going to be driving us from point A to point B. It's not even going to have a steering wheel, and we're going to sit in the back and face the people with us instead of like a traditional car. Yeah, all of these things sound ridiculous, and it's because they are. Because in 2021, all of those things would be ridiculous because there's nothing in the world that we've ever seen that would fulfill those promises to what they're supposed to be. The point I'm making is that Apple, more than any other company, has a history of making things sound ridiculous and useless until we actually see them. And then all of a sudden, once we do see them, it all starts to make sense. Long story short, this crazy tech doesn't fit into our lives until it's the right time, until it actually does. And rationally, you might go, yeah, but Sam, you said rumors. Like, rumors don't always happen. Just admit that to yourself. You're right. That's true. Well, what if there was a clip of Tim Cook himself saying what Apple's working on, what they think is going to be the next big thing?
There's been a lot of talk about future technology, virtual reality, electric cars. We keep seeing the headlines. What is Apple most interested in looking forward?
Well, that's something we have to keep a few things up our sleeve, and so I don't want to give too much away, but we're very focused on augmented reality, we're very focused on artificial intelligence, we're very focused on autonomy, we're focused on all of these things that are core technologies, and we'll use them in a variety of different ways.
Will Apple have something that's the next big thing?
Of course, Apple will always have something that's the next big thing.
I don't know about you, but I have never heard Tim Cook speak like that before. I mean, that was clear as day, on the spot, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, autonomy. The first one is for the AR glasses and the headset. I mean, that is just so clear considering that Apple's talked about AR for years, but you still just don't really see it in most of their products. And number two, artificial intelligence and autonomy. And I don't know many Apple products now that are out on the market that need to be autonomous or that would make any sense. We don't need a self-driving iPhone. We need a self-driving car. Apple in 2021 sounds like Apple in 2000, before the iPod, before the iPhone, before the iPad and AirPods and the Apple Watch. They're focusing on these wild products that shouldn't work, but that just could. But saying that, I just can't imagine myself in 2030 standing outside of a car giving you guys my review of an Apple car. That just doesn't feel real. Am I going to be sitting at this desk in 2030 looking at my stocks on my glasses or scrolling Twitter while I'm making this video through my glasses? It just doesn't sound realistic. And I say that one more time to make the point that in 2010, a phone without a headphone jack sounded fake. An Apple laptop with an Apple processor inside, getting rid of Intel, sounded fake. An iPhone that scanned your face to let you in sounded fake when we didn't even have Touch ID. Like, how would Apple put in the phone face scan tech? A watch that's the #1 watch in the world just didn't sound realistic in 2010. I have to give them credit. I would have never believed that we would be here. And that's why I wanted to make this, I don't know, different video of just like really thinking through everything. Because just like you guys, every time that I hear about this headset, I'm like, okay, I get it. Every time I hear about these glasses, I'm like, all right, sure. Every time I hear about this car, I'm like, okay. I'm just gonna, for the sake of my job, I'm gonna try to feign some excitement when inside I just don't get it. But I would have reacted the exact same way to most of the things that Apple has on the market right now 10 years before they came out. So next time you hear that story, just like think about the future, because yes, these things are many years away. I mean, at least a year for the VR headset, but also think of how Apple has a pretty good track record. I would argue the best track record of any company, taking something that we either A, take for granted, or B, never thought we would want, and turning it into something that we end up using every single day and couldn't imagine our lives without. That's why I make Apple videos. If you ever want, why did you choose Apple? Because I like to be surprised, and I always feel like I'm surprised with this company in some way. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was something different, but it was really fun to reflect on, and I wanted to share my thoughts and my feelings on 2030 with all of you. Apple Car, glasses, the 8 other rumors of major products that haven't even leaked yet that they're working on. I'll see you guys in 2030, and by that I mean I'll see you in the next video probably in a couple of days. All right, bye-bye.